The crowd was just amazing.
If you were to try to explain Indiana basketball to someone that wasn't familiar with it, what I would do is give them the DVD of that movie and let them watch it, and they would know.
Indiana is synonymous with basketball. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. Hoosiers Hystera is a real thing. Basketball inventor James Naismith came to Indiana in 1925 to see Indiana's popular high school state tournament. Shortly after, he wrote, "While the game was invented in Massachusetts, basketball really had its origins in Indiana, which remains the center of the sport." Legends like Larry Bird, Oscar Robinson, and John Wooden are all from this midwestern state. But the thing that sums up Hoosier Hystera is the movie Hoosiers, based on the true story of the Milan Indians in 1954. While we should already know that Hollywood stretches the truth of stories, the Milan Miracle story may have been stretched further than it needed to be. Hello, and welcome to Sports Vaults, presented by D.A.T.A Productions, uncovering the untold, lost, and forgotten files of the sports world. Today we will break down the truth behind the award-winning film Hoosiers, based off the 1954 championship run of the smallest school to ever win the Indiana High School State Championship, the Milan Indians. I won't be getting into too much detail right now. I will wait for my analysis, but even though I enjoy this movie, it provides great inspiration and awesome cinematic moments, I still feel like the screenwriter Angelo Pizzo and director David Aspaw did the movie injustice. I will be exposing the lies from the truth and give you the real story. Let's begin going through the plot. In 1951, Norman Dale arrives in rural Hickory, Indiana, to become a high school teacher and head basketball coach of the Huskers. He was hired by his longtime friend, Principal Cletus Summers. Speaking with Summers, Dale thanks him for the opportunity and mysteriously mentions that he hopes things will work out for him this time. The townspeople are passionate about basketball. They are upset because the best player in town, Jimmy Chitwood, has left the team to focus on his schoolwork. He also was still mourning the death of the previous coach. At a meet and greet, Dale tells the townspeople he used to coach college basketball and has been in the United States Navy for the past 10 years. Fellow teacher Myra Fleener, who senses something negative in Dale's past, warns him to not try and persuade Jimmy to change his mind. So the first thing comes to mind. Did the star basketball player really sit out because of the death of the head coach? No. The Milan Indians star basketball player, Bobby Plump, played the entire season. Although the former coach was well liked, he did not sulk over the firing, not death, of the previous coach, Herman Snort Grinstead. The school is so small that the Huskers have only 7 players. With the team having worked on a 4-pass offense, the coach further alienates the community by having the team play with a slow defensive style that does not immediately produce results, and also by losing his temper, causing him to be ejected from multiple games. So was the small team accurate? Not entirely. Similar to the fictional Hickory High in the film, it's true that there are only 161 students enrolled at the real school, Milan High. However, unlike in the movie, 58 of the 73 boys at the school tried out for the basketball team. There were 10 players on the Milan team in 1954, not 7. Also, that 4-pass offense, screenwriter Angelo Pizzo based that fictional element on Indiana University's coach Bobby Knight. He says, "I utilized Knight's offense philosophy, 4 passes before a shot." With Cletus laid up, Dale invites knowledgeable former Husker Wilbur Shooter Flatch, Everett's alcoholic father, to join him on the bench as a new assistant. Dale has one major requirement for Shooter. He must be sober at all times around the boys. By the middle of the season, the townspeople decide to hold a meeting and vote on whether Dale should be dismissed. Before the meeting, Fleener tells Dale she has learned from an old newspaper article that he was banned from coaching years ago after hitting one of his players. At the meeting, Fleener starts to tell the townspeople what she found out, but she changes her mind and tells them to give Dale a chance. As the ballots are being counted, Jimmy enters and announces that he is ready to rejoin the team, but only if Dale remains the coach. The ballot count was reported and it has gone against Dale, but everyone votes again, this time overwhelmingly choosing Dale to stay.
I don't know if it'll make any change, but I figure it's time for me to start playing ball. I play, coach stays. He goes, I go.
Another quick thing, Bobby Plump, the original, the real Jimmy Chitwood in real life, he was more soft-spoken. Bobby said he wouldn't have done that in real life, standing up to the town. He was real soft-spoken, didn't like to speak a lot. So that's just another difference from the real character and the main character. In real life, Coach Marvin Wood had never been fired for punching a player. Screenwriter Angelo Pizzo based Gene Hackman's outspoken Coach Dale partially on Indiana University's legendary coach, Bobby Knight. Many who knew the real coach have stated that Coach Marvin Wood was much more soft-spoken than his on-screen counterpart. Coach Wood often said of his championship squad, "God was coaching that team, not me." Contrary to the movie, with Coach Dale being a middle-aged man around his 50s, was in the military, but in real life, Coach Wood was young at 26 years old, coaching that Milan Indians team. With Jimmy back on the team, the re-energized Huskers rack up a series of wins. Along the way, Dale provides Shooter value to the townspeople and to Shooter himself by intentionally getting himself ejected from a game and forcing Shooter to demonstrate his coaching ability. Shooter does just that by designing a play that helps Hickory win the game on a last-second shot. Despite a setback in which Shooter arrives drunk at the sectional playoff game and ends up in the hospital, the team advances through the tournament play with contributions from unsung players such as the pint-sized Ollie and devout religious Strat. So the whole Shooter situation of him getting drunk at the sectional playoff game, it reminds me of the movie called The Way Back that dropped this year in 2020, early 2020, around March, I believe. And it was about a head coach that's trying to turn his life around, but he was a drunk. He was a great coach, but he had trouble, drinking around the kids. He got caught. They go to the playoffs, and, he had to sit out. Hopefully that's not a spoiler alert. Go watch it. It's, decent, but I feel like The Way Back, this new film, was kind of an extrapolation of the Shooter scenes and situations in Hoosiers. Just my 2 cents. Hickory reaches the state championship game in Indianapolis at Butler Fieldhouse, and before a crowd bigger than they had ever seen, the Hickory players faced long odds to defeat the South Bend Central Bears, whose players were taller and more athletic. Hickory's opponent at the state finals, a team that is supposed to represent the 1950s basketball powerhouse Indianapolis's Crispus Attucks High School, spearheaded by Oscar Robinson, the NBA great. In real life, Milan played Muncie, and with Jimmy Chitwood scoring at the last second, Hickory wins the 1952 state championship. And there you have it, the truth behind the movie classic Hoosiers. Hopefully you learned something new today and understand Hollywood doesn't always keep the script straight. So you must research yourself. What is your take on this topic? Did you like this movie? Let me know your thoughts below in the comments, give me a like, and give me a subscribe for more investigation content like this. This was Sports Vaults, presented by D.A.T.A Productions. See you next time.